What's up, everybody? Welcome to my review of the Hartke Hydrive HX112 bass cabinet. It is a 300 watt cabinet, features one 12-inch speaker. If you guys don't know about the Hartke Hydrive speakers, they are basically a hybrid between aluminum and paper. So the interior of the cone is aluminum and the outer edge is paper. Therefore, you get the bright, kind of crisp attack from the aluminum, plus the warmth and low end from the paper cone. It's kind of a best of both worlds scenario. I really like the way this cabinet sounds so far. It's got a bunch of great features that we're going to get into a little bit more of the specifics of that when I show you guys the back panel. But yeah, it's just a great cabinet. Very well built, very lightweight, portable. It's punchy. It gets really loud. I'm not going to be able to demo the volume that this thing is capable of in my apartment here. I have to keep it relatively low, but I will give you guys some sound samples of various settings of the tweeter. And the high frequency driver, and also with two different basses. So stay tuned. Let's get into it. Alright, give you guys a closer look at the front of the cabinet here. Here's the little sticker that comes with some information on there. There's a little bit closer look at the aluminum inside of the cone there. I'm not sure if you're going to see the paper, but you can see the outer edge right there. Swinging around to the side, you only have one handle on this cabinet, but it's a nice deep set, kind of, I don't know if it's aluminum or steel, but it's super sturdy and I really like it. It's comfortable. I like it better than the kind of strap ones that you see on the top of certain amplifiers. My other cabinets had those. While they worked fine, this is a much more comfortable and probably better long-term design for sure. It's got, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see it, but it's got four relatively tall rubber feet on the bottom of the cabinet. One slight criticism I have for this cabinet is that based on the fact that the handle's over here, I kind of wish they would have installed on this side of the cabinet some other rubber feet so that when I put it down it's not scratching the side of the cabinet like on the ground or whatever if I have to put it down. But I'm going to do that aftermarket myself. I just have to make sure that's not going to void any kind of warranty I have with Sweetwater. But yeah, that's the front of the cabinet. Let's swing it around and look at the back. Alright, looking into the back panel of this thing, we're going to get into some of the features that I really like about this cabinet and why I chose it for my personal rig. You see the inputs here. We have 1/4 inch. This is an extension if you want to run another cabinet as well. I'm just going to be using this just plugged straight in here. Has these twist on, like speak on connectors as well, but I don't have those for my head, so I'm just going to be using straight up 1/4 inch right into here. You can also run it out from here into another cabinet if you need to, but my head, the Fender Rumble 350, has two outputs on it, so I don't need to do that. I can just run as each cabinet its own cable straight from the head. But you can see power rating 300 watts, and it's got the neodymium driver in there, 4 or 8 ohms selectable. We're getting to that in just one second. Neodymium means that it's a rare earth magnet, so it's smaller and lighter weight, but still gets the same amount of push and vibration on the cone of the speaker, creating those frequencies and allowing it to do its job. But that also being a much smaller, lighter weight magnet, it means that the cabinet itself is very lightweight at around 30 pounds or so, so it's totally manageable. Blows my mind when I go out to a bar gig and I see somebody using like an 810 or an old school 410 or something like that that's like 90 pounds. I just don't get it. There's so much good sounding lightweight stuff these days. You guys need to look into that if you're still lugging around one of those big amps. Don't hurt yourself out there. A lot of this newer lighter weight stuff sounds better too, in my opinion. It's just as punchy. You got just as much power to it. It just doesn't hurt your back as much to get it in and out of the gig. So the high frequency selector here is really nice. You can have it with a -6 decibel cut there, or completely off if that's what you're looking for. If you want to, maybe you want to play like a couple of old Motown tunes or something, you really just want that deep sound with no kind of high-end cut to it whatsoever, or you can run it full on to get that really sparkly top end that'll cut through for slap playing or higher frequency stuff, like if I'm playing the 6-string, doing some chordal stuff. It'd be nice to have that as well. I find that with my 6-string, if I boost the treble, I like it better just with the high frequency on, but with the little cut there. That works out really well. Or I can run it full on and just cut back the treble a little bit on my bass, and it ends up being relatively similar overall. But I really like the high frequency in this thing. That was one of the reasons why I wanted this cabinet, is that the ones I was using didn't have that, and I wanted that crispy, you know, high end for the slap stuff and chordal stuff like we talked about. So it's a really nice feature, good sounding. So hopefully when we switch to the demo portion in just a minute here, I will run it all 3 different ways so you guys can get a feel for what that sounds like. This red switch here is a big part of why I chose this particular cabinet, and something that I think makes this a really nice option for you know, small gigs to, you know, even like medium style club gigs and stuff like that. The nice thing about this rig is that I can use this one cabinet and take the full power of my Fender Rumble 350 head directly into this one cabinet. So if you were to have a cabinet that's just at 8 ohms, where it's selected to right now, you're only going to get so much juice out of your head. Now if you were to pair that with another 8 ohm cabinet, it would bring it down to 4 ohms, and your head would actually push out more power. That being said, obviously if you have 2 cabinets, you're going to get more power as well. It's going to you know, not only get more juice out of your head, but obviously you have 2 speakers there, so it's going to cover more sound, it's going to push more air. But the nice thing about this cabinet is that I can select it to go down to 4 ohms, so I can get the full power of my Fender Rumble 350 directly into this one cabinet. So I can turn it up quite a bit and get a very loud, very punchy sound out of this one cabinet, and not have to bring 2 cabinets to my smaller you know, bar club type gigs. Another thing about most modern bass heads have a DI, you know, like an XLR DI out on it. If your head does not have that, I highly recommend you switch to one that does. So many options out there now have that feature, meaning if I'm playing this this cabinet out at a gig and even the 300 watts at 4 ohms pushing this is not quite enough, all I have to do is run an XLR into the back of the cabinet, send that out to the sound man, and I can have that pushed out to the PA, and I have all the power I need. You can dial in as much sound as you possibly need at that point, and then just use this more as a stage monitor. But that's a huge thing about this cabinet that I really liked. Now I can bring this one cabinet to the gig, get the full power out of my head, and it'll really push it and really you know, sound great and get me a lot of volume and stage presence. So that is a look at the back of the cabinet and some of the features. Now I'm going to kind of zoom back a little bit and set up my Zoom recorder. I'm going to be recording this cabinet straight into a Zoom H2N, just set with the auto gain feature so I don't clip it, and I'm just going to play a couple of things with a few of my different basses here and let you guys hear what this thing sounds like. Stay tuned. First bass, Ibanez Roadstar 2. It's an 84. It's got an Aguilar Hot P-bass pickup, aftermarket. Tone control's wide open. And I'm going to start with the tweeter off on the cabinet. Just a little bit of fingerstyle. I'm just going to noodle something, not sure what. Finger styles, try a little slap. Turn the tweeter on. This is full on. Let's try the tweeter partially off. next bass, Ibanez SR506, 6-string. I'm running just the one front pickup, basically how I play this bass all the time. And I have the bass boosted right now, tweeters off. Tweeter partially on now. You're going to hear a little bit more crispness come out in the sound. Alright, so a little more brightness comes out. I haven't boosted the treble at all on the bass. Let's turn the tweeter all the way up. Tweeter on full now. You'll hear it's going to get a lot more brightness. That more bite to it. Chordal stuff. That's it, guys. Cheers. Alright guys, before I let you go, just wanted to give you a quick reminder that I am unable to run this cabinet very loud in my apartment. Therefore, it kind of stunts the audio quality a little bit. It definitely sounds a lot more full and bright and punchy when you're able to turn it up more. But wanted to give you guys at least somewhat of an idea of what the cabinet sounds like, even if it's at a lower volume. But definitely trust me, it sounds way better when I'm able to crank it up. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys liked the video. I appreciate your view, and I'll check you guys later.